GTurbo, where did it come from? You know, who are we? That sort of thing. We do get asked that a fair bit, and for some people we just seem to have existed, but we did come from somewhere, and that somewhere was back in 2007. I made my first turbocharger for a 1HDT 8-powered 80 series, which I'd imported from Japan with a mere 51,000 Ks on it, and it really did present like a new car. And I had a lot of fun with that, and I wanted to get more power out of it. And with an engineering and metallurgy background, I thought, well, let's go and do something cool. So I made the first turbocharger for that vehicle after doing a series of calculations, and set it for about 27 psi, and did a front mount intercooler setup on it, and then travelled around Australia actually for a year with my family, and pretty much spent a lot of my spare time, you know, tweaking the injection pump and so on, and really getting a good feel for, you know, what worked and what didn't in that space. And then after that, so that was about a year trip that we went on. After that, I had that vehicle for another probably a year, and then I sold it to a family member who's still got that vehicle now. So I very proudly say the very first turbo that we ever made is still on the car. It's done about 220,000 Ks now, and still running the 27 PSI that it was way back in the day. But it was founded on passion. I love performance, but I also love efficiency. And I wanted maximum grunt, and the only way to achieve that in all those things together was with a diesel, because you know, you don't get detonation. You're not limited by with a petrol engine. You know, you want to turn the pressure up on your turbocharger, and suddenly you have to worry about, you know, detonation, and then you've got to retard your timing, which means you lose efficiency anyway. But none of those things are a problem with the diesel. So I was enthralled. And as a result, did some really made some great progress on my vehicle back then. And we towed our caravan up to Thredbo. That's way back then. We did a valve body upgrade where we could lock up in second and third as well, and we could go up any grade without worrying about overheating the trans and all that sort of stuff. But look, after that. A friend of mine said that had a 60 series by the name of Tim Law, and I kept telling him, "Oh, look, I can build a turbo for you that's going to be better than what you've got," you know. And he's like, "Oh yeah, nah, it's all right," you know. And I'm like, and so I kept at him, you know. He was more of a conservative type. And I kept at him for probably a good year. Eventually relented and said, "Yeah, all right, build me something." So I built him something, and he was just like over the moon. And I remember the phone call, you know, and he's saying, "It's fantastic. It's like so much better than the turbo that was on it." And I was like, "Oh, that's great. You know, that's what we wanted." And so anyway, he went on and told other people on a forum called I Hate Mud, and this is right back in like I think it's like 2009. And then some people on I Hate Mud forum said, "Well, you know, I want one of those, you know, can I have one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll have one, I'll make one for you." So I ended up making all these turbos, and it started, and then I thought, all right, well, I want to make a bigger model than this, you know, I'm going to shoot a bit higher in the performance stakes. So we went and we designed a new turbine wheel at that point, and made our first bad boy turbocharger, and there was an 80 series 1HD FT. And if Dave's watching this, he'll remember this. It was his vehicle. We got 182 kilowatts at the wheels out of his automatic 1HD FT at around 30 psi boost, and it was astonishing at the time, and it's still not a bad result by today's standards, to be honest. So one thing led to another, and we're working on variable geometry turbochargers because of the higher efficiency and this magic quality that they have to be able to spool from low RPM and have low back pressure at high RPM and great efficiency in the mid-range and all those sort of fantastic things. So the first VNT turbocharger that we made was actually for the Hilux 1KD engine, which we supplied to Just Autos in Queensland. And Matt at Just Autos was saying that he had tried so many different turbos from different companies and they all failed. How sure was I that ours was going to work? And I'm like, well, it should just work. You know, we designed it to work. It's got to work. and it did work, and he loved it. So we've had a long-standing relationship from right back then, and so yeah, as far as tuning VNT turbos, there's no one in the country more experienced than Just Autos in that sphere. So anyway, we made that, and then at the end of in 2012 or end of 2011, I started looking at the VDJ70. But I thought fantastic, a V8, 4.5 litre V8. It's got to have a whole lot of performance potential. So then we started looking at the VDJ70 turbocharger, all the while improving our CT26 base sort of range and adding a bad boy extreme to it and all sorts of things, and getting some really huge power. I mean, I think we're already at 350 wheel horse. We're around 300 horsepower at the wheels in 2012, and no one had even been talking about power numbers like that at that point. And so I designed a new VNT system for the V8, and that was our first VNT system that we'd actually designed ourselves, and that went into production then. We've actually got one of the original turbochargers from one of the local guys. He's done about 160,000 Ks on it over the years, and he came in and just got it recently upgraded to a G350, and so we've put it on display. It looks a bit rusty and that. I've been thinking about, should I pull it apart and blast it all and make it look pretty, but that kind of takes away from the fact that it's been in service, you know. But look, I guess if you really want to nut it down to what it is, what GTurbo is. GTurbo is, it's founded on passion. We just want to build the best. We want our customers to experience what we experience, and because we have so much fun with it, and we've got so much more fun to have to coming as well. So that's it. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. If anything that you've seen today has prompted questions from you, or you feel that you would like more detail on some of the subject matter that we've covered, it's certainly a really big subject matter. Subscribe and put your comments below, and we'll attempt to answer them in the next one.